Hi, my name is Mark Walker and I'm the editorial director of the FinTech Times, and we're here at Seamless, North Africa. I'm going to start off by asking my interviewee to introduce himself to you, the audience.
Hi, I'm Ahmed Wadi, founder and CEO of Money Fellows.
Fantastic. So, just for people that don't know, who is Money Fellows, what do you do, and how long have you been around?
Cool. Money Fellows has been there since 2017. We started in the UK and then we moved to Egypt, launched in 2018. What we do is basically we're offering lending, saving, planning at much better rates and incentives. And we're using ROSCAs, which is a very ancient traditional model, rotating savings and credit associations, known as different names around the world, where people basically pool money together and chips in a fixed monthly installment, and one person gets the whole pot at the end of every month. So this is another alternative way of how people have always been banking in a way, even way before banks and credit scores have even existed.
Yeah. And I guess that sort of everyone putting money into a pot used to happen with an actual pot, and people would put their pounds in it and then give it out at the end of the month.
So there's so many ways how people actually manage, building this mechanism. It's usually done completely offline with friends, family members, work colleagues. It's very painful, to be honest. There's usually a volunteer that runs after people to collect the money. There's a lot of scams and so on. So despite it's over a $800 billion market and over 100 years old, it's still being done the same old hard way. And that's why we thought, okay, we need to do something about it and digitize this model, make it a lot easier for people to find a relevant circle for their needs, and to be able to access credit and good saving options as well.
And I guess, as you said, you launched here in Egypt in 2018, so you've been here for a long time. How have you seen fintech develop over that period of time? Was there a particular point where it was like a really high moment?
So I think when we first came to Egypt, I think it was very, very tough to even accept digital payments, which is a very basic, need for any tech company, not just fintechs. But I think in no time, especially post-COVID and during COVID, I think things have picked up significantly, whether on a governmental initiative basis or other fintechs and other tech companies building this or changing this mindset of using financial services online, using online payments, so adopting and using signing up for prepaid cards and mobile wallets and so on. So in no time, I think in the past probably 4 or 5 years, I think the number of people with digital acceptance channels have probably quadrupled in no time.
And I think, as you say, that there's been a real sort of explosion of digitalization right from the government side of things, right the way through the whole sort of chain.
And other fintechs as well. And that's why people are now accepting the concept of using digital services at first, and then even fintechs, which is a bit more sensitive. So people are becoming now more aware, more comfortable to actually use those kind of services. And I think we've always been focused on providing a very good user experience, so that we focus a lot on retention and word of mouth. So if we get a very few number of people to love the service enough, they would actually keep using us and get their friends and family. And this is how I think credibility of services is being built, not just by marketing campaigns and so on. So we've been very focused on that, and I think we've been doing well.
And I think that, obviously, as you said, you started in London. Perhaps in Europe, the trust of the financial institutions was lost quite a long time ago. And so fintech was kind of automatically accepted because they didn't trust their banks anymore. One of the things that I've found quite a bit in the GCC region is that banks still hold most of the trust. And so would you find it as other fintechs more challenging to gain that trust?
No, so in GCC, I think it's a bit different. In developing countries like Egypt or emerging markets generally, I think this trust of formal financial systems isn't that big. So and it's a bit it's probably a different reason why Europeans don't trust the banks. So I think in Egypt, They connect things like taxation. They don't understand banks. They don't know where the money is going to, where it's coming from. So they're not really able to. So there's a lot of education that needs to be done so that people can actually start understanding how those institutions works and starts building the trust. So I think we've been doing well with financial inclusion lately, but generally you'd find at least 50% of the population underbanked or unbanked. And I think there's a very long way to still go. And I think we as a company and other companies are actually supporting that thesis. We, for example, are using a very ancient tradition, especially those people are used to do, and that's how they usually bank in the offline world. And we're bringing it online. So this is another way of financially including them using a use case they always knew about, they always trusted, understood well, and we're just improving it and enhancing the overall experience of it.
And I guess thinking about sort of, obviously we're here at Seamless North Africa, looking at everything new and exciting. What are you seeing as kind of like the new emerging trends within fintech generally, technology or
fintech in Egypt? I think they're not globally new, but I think the instant payment network, so the open banking like concept is actually starting to pick up. I think there's a huge adoption to this instant payment, so InstaPay they call it. I think this has been really successful. I think there's a huge plan from the Central Bank of Egypt to how to enable other companies sort of white label that solution and start opening up the open banking concept through that platform. So I think this is a very exciting initiative that we're very much looking forward to. I think there has been a lot of wallet-related mobile accept bill payments. So I think this market is actually becoming very saturated by a lot of fintechs and so on. So I think on the payment side, things are really looking very well. There's also a very new initiative, digital bank approval coming up very soon. And one of the largest banks in Egypt is about to launch the first digital bank in Egypt. So this is also a game changer, I believe. And with that, there will come a lot of structural related initiatives like eKYC and digital signatures and onboarding, which is going to help most of the digital companies and fintechs onboard their customers without that operational hassle of having to physically meet and sign and so on. So, yeah.
Interesting. And then perhaps my final question, what sort of things here at the conference are you most looking forward to?
To be honest, it's always good to meet most of the relevant to fintechs, so whether banks, regulators, and other players. So it's always good to have them all under one roof and network and catch up. And we've been looking to partner with a few of the people that are actually present here today. So it's good to catch up with them all in one place.
It's an absolute pleasure to spend time with you. Thank you very much for joining me. The Seamless TV's powered by the FinTech Times.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks.